All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Betting by the Numbers, a sports betting YouTube and Discord channel dedicated to taking the decision-making process out of the hands of idiots like me and putting it in the hands of people who win. We are back after a video-less Sunday. I apologize for that. I got up and was able to get an early round of golf in, and then came home and just had enough time to lock in picks. So didn't want to get everybody to get on picks at the last second. So we just reloaded and we are going to be ready for today. We have a smaller slate today, but still going to be enough action, especially with the 2 NBA games and 1 NHL game. We had some awesome game 7s last night in the NHL, like we thought there would be. Just the Bruins going down is just unbelievable. And I think that the Avalanche going down might be even more unbelievable. So I think we got great series so far. Playoffs have been awesome, and we get a 50-point Steph performance, and now we get Steph and LeBron again. I think it's going to be an awesome couple rounds for the NBA. So let's get into the games for today. 2 NBA games today. We have Game 1 and Game 2. The first game is Game 1 of the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. There are rumors of Joel Embiid being questionable or doubtful. I have not looked that up this morning. Let's just do that. Injury. So still not looking good. He's doubtful, assuming it's out. Okay. So that is why this line is so skewed. You can see 59% of the tickets are on the Sixers with 63% of the cash as well, but the line has gone from 6.5 to 10. That might be a bit of an overreaction. I'm going to watch that money. I don't really want to take the Sixers without Embiid, but if that line gets any bigger, that's far too big for a playoff game. So we'll watch that one. Then we have the late game. The Phoenix Suns are going to be playing the Denver Nuggets in Game 2. The Nuggets won Game 1, 125-107. You can see, we'll just quickly look at that box score. Durant had 29. Booker had 27. Ayton had 14. And then for the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon scored 23. Jokic 24. Murray 34. I think this is going to be, I think this might be kind of one of those, the home team's going to win I think it's going to go Game 5 before someone wins an upset. I think these teams are really good, and I think getting them at home too, there's just a lot of scoring, and I would assume a lot of these guys score even more when they're at home. So we'll look into that, but I think that's going to be an interesting series. That feels like one that if we can key in on, some of the games might be a little more predictable than other. We can see 68% of the tickets are on the Suns, 51% of the cash. However, the line is at 4.5 for the Nuggets and has stayed there since the opening. So even though there's money, it looks like the Nuggets are the early sharp line. So we'll be watching those. So I'm not going to lock in a pick, but I definitely do like the Nuggets tonight. What I'll probably do is put a parlay up with one of the player props with like a money line parlay. So we'll get to that once we get through the props. We'll go over to ballparkpal to check out the weather for today because we said, especially this early, none of this money is going to mean anything to us because it's just not enough yet. So we are going to just look at the weather real quick. Looks like a day where it's cold across the slate, cold and windy. That means less runs across the board, which could be fun. That means we could be looking at possibility of some alt line unders and just putting a big parlay on that. So we'll be watching that today. I think that'll be fun. And then we will head to the 1 NHL game tonight. Game 7 again, Rangers, Devils. Rangers were able to get a big win on Saturday. Question is can they repeat that performance in New Jersey? They won the first 2 games there, but then New Jersey has looked great since then. So I think it's going to be an awesome game. I think picking someone in this game, you can see the tickets and cash are on the Rangers and the line's moving towards the Rangers, which indicates to me it's a coin flip game. These are games where if you are betting on them, these are ones you want to be watching your units because, yeah, I can feel great about the Rangers, but it is still a 50-50 coin flip game, right? And in those games, just the smallest things are the difference, and you just are a little less comfortable in those positions. So, like we always say, we practice safe betting here. And if you read the comments or the bio and the info on each of the videos, we talk about our safe betting principles. So we're going to head over to Prop Professor to find our PrizePicks lines for today. First one, Tarasenko, under 2.5 shots on goal. You can see he's minus 140 at DraftKings, minus 146 at Pinnacle. That's interesting. That likely means that line might move. What we're going to do is we're going to head over to PrizePicks, look at his line, 2.5. And we're going to go over to props.cash. This is the other website that I like to use the most frequently. We're going to go to the NHL and go to shots on goal. Tarasenko, 2.5. So he's hit this line, it looks like the last 4 games, but he didn't hit it the first 2 in New Jersey. That's interesting to me. In the last 30, let's see how he's been away. So he's only hit those lines the one time in the last. Yeah, I like that line just because I think we're going to add it. But this is one of those, it's the same principles I use in basketball, right? Jimmy Butler yesterday, 30 points was the line. I honestly don't know if he hit it. Based on the data, it was the right pick. However, I am not going to lose money betting the under and watch Jimmy Buckets put up 50 on me. So I just avoid big games or big names in big games taking unders. So it's just a personal preference. Tarasenko's not the star of the team, but he certainly brings a lot of power. He scored goal in the last game. But I just don't know if he's going to walk out there and try to do a lot of shots. It's just game 7. Everybody tenses up. So we can see Brandon Crawford over bases. He has faced Luis Garcia 3 times and has 2 singles. He's been struggling against both pitchers, but he's better against righties. Luis Garcia has been pretty good, actually, against both, but worse against lefties. It looks like interesting. Okay. Brandon Crawford. I like that line. Let's add that in. I'm not sold on it, but let's get him in. I like getting these people in, and then we can make decisions later. So over to Dougie Hamilton, over shots on goal. And that goes against the entire thing I just said about playoff games being a little more tense, but oh well. Neither of these defenses give up a lot of shots on goal. So it's not crazy to be like, I don't know. Oh, my goodness. I don't know about that. No, I'm not riding that line. Somebody else can. It looks really good, but let's see. Bruce Brown under rebounds. It's not exactly where I want it to be. Timo Meyer. Al Horford over steals. That might be some one win. Okay, let's look at Patrick Wisdom over bases. I have bet him probably the most out of anybody for over bases. I don't know why. I want to go to total bases. Patrick Wisdom. Come on. Okay, he has 1 single and 3 plate appearances against Mackenzie Gore. Looks like Mackenzie Gore might not have pitched so far this year. And Wisdom's hitting 240 against righties. Has experience. Yeah, I like that. I like that one more than the Brandon Crawford. So let's get that one added. Back to Prop Professor. We have Panarin overshots and Kane undershots. Both of them, though, are push lines. What I mean by that is they are at the full number, not the half number that typically these lines are set at. 2.5, 3.5. 1.5. What that means is that there's a higher likelihood. Look, at all these other sports books, it's 2.5, but you get plus value on them, plus 110, plus 111. So those are ones that are harder to evaluate. Yes, the line is different, but you're still getting plus value. Is it worth it? So we look at these push lines because, and the reason we call it that is they're more likely to hit that 2 and that 3, right? Because obviously there's a significance to the number 2.5 to their stats or to what the books think are going to happen tonight. So you're more likely to hit the 2 and the 3, which decreases the payout, but you don't lose on it. So there's a benefit if you feel very comfortable that it's going to hit. Because if I think that 2.5 is going to hit, then the 2 is even better because I have a little bit of security. But if you're just grabbing at push lines because they look a little bit better because the line's different, that's probably not going to be the most valuable strategy over time. So let's head over and look at both of Panarin and Kane's lines and see if they look better. All right, let's look at Panarin. Shots on goal, 2.5. He has the over. Against the Devils away, he's hit it. It's just so different. I mean, he's hit it all the regular season ones. He hit it in game 1. And let's look at Kane's. Kane's at 2.5. And what was it here? Under 3. No, I don't love that. I'd almost rather take the over on that one. Since it has gone to the over. So I don't love either of those. We're not going to jump in on it. Let's look at James Harden steals and blocks. You can see here 1.5 minus 137 at Caesars, minus 130 at DraftKings. He's definitely going to have to play a bigger role tonight because even if Embiid plays, it doesn't sound like he's going to be 100%. So should just be fine. We'll do this. James Harden steals and blocks against Boston. He has 3, 2, and 2. In the playoffs, he's better. Last 10. I kind of like this. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, he's hit it in almost every game against Boston. He has to play a big role tonight. I like that. So let's get that into our NBA. We're going to add James Harden, 1.5 steals and blocks. Okay. So let's get to Chris Paul over 21.5 points and assists, minus 140 at DraftKings. That might be a little bit of a one-way line. Let's check that out, though. Chris Paul, it's just not going to play ball. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go to Phoenix and Denver. Chris Paul, points and assists, 21.5 against Denver. He likes this line. In the playoffs, he's been right around it. He needs to have a better game than last time. I like this spot, 21.5. He's hit it in Denver before, which is good. I wanted to see that. Obviously, different atmosphere, but in the last 10, let's see his last 10 away. He's hitting this 6 out of 10 times. There's value there. In the playoffs away, he's been close too. All right, I like this. I'm in on this. So we're going to add Chris Paul, 21.5 points and assists. I like that. Let's look for some more. We got... See, now this is one I'm going to be probably comfortable with. Also, we're going to look at... Okay, let's take this in order. Let's look at Mika Zibanejad's over 2.5 shots on goal because minus 131 at Pinnacle, minus 130 at DraftKings. I would feel more comfortable with an over if the data is going to back it. Somebody's got to shoot. Man, that is inconsistent. What about away? Yeah, I'm not doing that. But Tobias Harris under rebounds, minus 194 at Pinnacle. Look, it's 7.5 at the books. It's going to be 7 at PrizePicks. So if this data tells me that 7 is enough, like the important number, then I'm a little more comfortable because I still get that number before it goes to 7 or 6.5. If I think that that's going to be the next place it goes. So we could see Against Boston, he's never hit this number. Obviously, let's check something, which is games without Embiid. Has he ever played Boston without Embiid? Has he ever played in the playoffs without Embiid? His last 10 without Embiid. Okay, that still makes me feel better. I just wanted to make sure that it doesn't change it dramatically. Yeah, I'm still good on the under rebounds. I think Boston's going to try to send a message. So let's add that. I do like that. Harris under rebounds, 7. Okay, so right now we have 6 players. I'm still not wonderfully sold on this Tarasenko, but the data is really good on that. And the Brandon Crawford. Let's see if there's not anything else. Edmundo Sosa over bases. We can check that. MLB bases. Okay, I like that. Let's see. He's batting great against left-handed pitchers. He's not facing one tonight. It looks like Gonsolin hasn't faced many batters, so inexperience. Let's see. Ballparkpal. Let's look at Philly's game. Sure, it's the same as most of them. Little less cold because it's in LA. I don't mind that. The over bases. Do I like that more than Brandon Crawford's? Yeah. So I will add that over Brandon Crawford. The question is do we keep Tarasenko? Man, let's see if Odds Jam has any lines that are a little bit better. Dougie Hamilton over shots on goal. I think we already looked this up, but let me look at it. We definitely looked this up, but a lot of numbers. You get confused. I can't remember how he did against the Rangers. Yeah, see, I didn't like that line. I'm not following. Let's see. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the picks. Let's see. This might be it. Okay. So right now we got this. The question is, did we like Brandon Crawford or Tarasenko more? And I think it was Tarasenko, right? I don't think he was like a big... Oh, he's been right at that line. No. Away. Better. Much better. Playoffs away. He's only hit it once. And then let's go to Brandon Crawford one more time. We're going to make the right decision. This is big. He's not on that. And we're going to have more because obviously the pitcher strikeouts I like a lot more. He hasn't been great this season. Against Houston, he hasn't played him. But he has a lot more experience against Luis Garcia. But Luis Garcia is doing better this year. And Brandon Crawford is doing significantly worse. All right. This is the picks. Vladimir Tarasenko under 2.5 shots on goal. Patrick Wisdom over bases 0.5. James Harden over 1.5 blocks and steals. Chris Paul over 21.5 points and assists. Tobias Harris under 7 rebounds. And Edmundo Sosa against the Dodgers over bases. A $20 payout. Flex play would pay out $500 for a 6 out of 6. Would pay out $40 for 5 out of 6. And what is it? $8 for a 4 out of 6. So let's see. Do we like any lines? Not quite yet. There's going to be a lot of movement. The lines are low right now. I will be posting plenty more PrizePicks as well as DraftKings lines throughout the day. So just keep following along on the YouTube, on Twitter at BetByTheNumber, on Discord and the Odds Jam Discord. So we have plenty of places to be following us. I really appreciate you guys following along today. Please subscribe and like this video. Send it to your friends. Even if they're not going to use these players, just listen to how I kind of make my decisions. Even if you don't want to take my advice, at least take the decision-making process I use and implement it in yours. Because I'm telling you, it works. So thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow.